What's up?
We're just waiting for Jack. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't want to know what Jack is doing. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to guess. No, you bring it out to the best in us.
I try. Ronnie told me to keep an eye on you guys. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the Deadzone Podcast. Deadzone is the sci-fi tabletop miniature skirmish game from Mantic Games. And now, here are your hosts Rob Harper and Jack Fike. I am your announcer, William Randolph Wintergreen.
Welcome to the 55th episode of Deadzone the Podcast for early June 2016. In this episode, we discuss Mantic Open Day. As always, you can go to deadzonegame.podbean.com to see all the pictures, or you can go to youtube.com/c/Deadzone the Podcast for the video version of the show. And now on to the episode. Welcome to episode 55 of Deadzone the Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Jack.
And I'm Coach.
Yes, Coach is back. And this week we have a lot of news, plus we have to cover Mantic Open Day. There's some great stuff happening there, so I guess we should mention it. And yeah, let's get into it. And the first bit of news, by now, everybody should have their Infestation Kickstarter shipped. And if you don't, there's an issue, but hopefully everybody has theirs. You got yours, Coach?
I got mine exactly like when I was supposed to get it. I got it like 10 o'clock on a Tuesday when it was supposed to get. I got the packing the packing number or the shipping number, and I was checking it every 4 seconds, and finally it was good because my wife came home from work and signed for it, and it was there. So I got everything. I have no issues, no missing, no nothing. So I'm extremely happy with what with Mantic and what they did. I know there's issues out there, but they did me all right.
Yeah, we had no missing parts so far. You haven't found anything, right, Jack?
No, not that you didn't correct me via text messages when I was crying like a little girl.
We'll get into that because.
Oh, okay.
Because the next part is that Mantic did release some assembly guides for those who need them, for the Pathfinders and the Veermen, and they're like pretty simple. But Jack could have used the one for the Veermen, obviously. Oh no, it's not Veermen; it's Forgefather. There's no Veermen one yet. It's Forgefathers and Pathfinders. So yes, the Veermen one's the one that Jack needed.
Yeah.
Now you guys was. I remember we were talking. You were saying that the Forge. I haven't done the Forge Fathers yet because I want to do all the new stuff, and to run my armies in Deadzone, I have enough Forge Fathers because that's what I've been playing. But you're saying that you need the green stuff, and it's really they're a handful.
It's just where their legs meet their waists. It's there's quite a gap. I never used green stuff, and I should have, but I never did. And they're solid, but I don't care as much as some other people probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have stuck a lot better if you throw a little bit of green stuff in between them.
Yeah, well, you could use the green stuff. You put a dot of that, and you can use super glue, and it bonds together. You can use both. Yeah, that's the way to go. And then if the green stuff, if it sticks out a little bit, you sand it down, and then even GW's liquid green stuff is not terrible. Like when you want to just do little spaces, yeah, little bubbles and stuff like that. I mean, if you ever used Finecast, that stuff was a godsend. Which is ironically, they had crappy Crapcast, and they came out with the liquid green stuff for Crapcast. So I think it's a big conspiracy. But let's not get into
that. Have you looked over these assembly guides? Either of you? Have you?
Yes.
I don't. Yeah. Did you actually use it?
I looked at it after I was done.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, man. I did all the Pathfinders, and I did all the most of the rats. I have 2 nightmares, but I want to magnetize them so I could switch out the weapons. And it's pretty self-explanatory. If you just dry fit it, cut everything, put everything in piles, left arms, right arms, whatever, dry fit it, and I think that was an easy way to go. And then you can kind of make some because I was looking afterwards at some of the things, and I kind of just winged most of it, and it worked out. So it's not terrible. The only thing, the pain in the butt is finding the arm that fits into the 2-handed rifle. That's I think the hardest thing. If you put the pistol, the rifle, the one-handed with a knife in the other hand or the grenade in the other hand, you're good to go. It's easy. But, just finding which arm goes to which rifle, I think that's...
I think actually this time the sprues actually had letters on them to mix or to match them up for the Pathfinders and the Forge Fathers, I'm pretty sure. At least the Forge Fathers did, I know for sure. Had like A and A for the two hands and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and they had for the Veermen and stuff. Yeah, there was like an A, B, C, D just right on the sprue.
Which is a nice step forward, because usually they don't do that.
I didn't use it. I like to make my own. I want mine to look vastly different from everyone else's.
Right.
So I just built one guy that I liked. And dog. Then I built the next one that I liked. I didn't use the guide, even if I wouldn't have used it even if I had the guide.
And I also find that we'll have the pictures on our website, and the resolution is not great. I was like, oh, maybe I didn't download the highest resolution of it. And I went back and downloaded it again. I was like, the Forge Father one you can barely see. It's so small. Yeah. So it's like, well, it's not that useful when it's that small. If they just made it a little bigger.
It's small, and it's like the whitest gray you'll ever see.
Yeah. It's very almost looks like a sketch.
Yeah.
Yep, and you can check those out on deadzonegame.podbean.com. We'll have the pictures there. And I don't think I didn't need assembly guides, but a lot of people have been asking for them. So, well, Jack, you did need it for the one Veerman. What was the Veerman that you had trouble with? Which one?
The one that comes in the 2-pack that has the larger Veermen that have the giant drills. I forget what they're called.
The nightmares.
Yes. It was late, and I knew the next day would be nice, so I wanted to prime it, and so I started putting them together. I got the torsos done, and I was like, okay, I got the legs, but there's no waist area to attach to the torso. So I sent Rob a message and said, okay, well, I don't know, there was no waists, to hook to the torso. So I go to bed. I said, okay, never mind. Well, and by the time he sends me a message back, he asked me, was there 2 bags, this, that, and finally he goes, the legs just go together. You put the 2 legs together, it makes its own waist. And I was like, oh, so I had to get up out of bed, go look, and sure enough, yeah, it was simple once I put them together. There was the male and female part, and then you hooked them together, made a nice flat surface that the torso would glue to, but just at a glance, just trying to get it done before bed, I flubbed it. Yeah.
It's just once you try to piece everything together, eventually you figure it out. I don't think there's any other model that gave me any trouble. Like there is, some have a very small bits gluing to other small bits, which is always a problem without pinning. I guess you could pin everything, but generally assemblers, right?
Coach, did you get are your dog drones 3 or 2-toed still?
2-toed.
2-toed? Okay. Oh,
you didn't bother with the 3rd toe?
No, because remember when we did the Deadzone Monthly, I threw both of them over my right shoulder, and they're probably still there. So,
well, I thought that was just for flourish, like that was just your showmanship of coming through.
It was, but then eventually, I was
really screw it.
Yeah, it was screw it. Well, like Jack was saying, he wants to make his look different, so I have the mutant 2-toed dog per foot, and now you'll know when you see, he says, oh, there's Coach with his 2 mutant dog drones.
I bet you won't even notice. Especially once you put on a base, you would never notice. It's such a small piece.
And my guys have advanced technology where there's suction cups that they can go up the side of the building. So a 3rd toe would probably throw them off. So I don't want to mess with the inner mechanics of the dog drone.
No, why would you? Obviously. That's an engineer put a lot of time and energy making those suction cups.
Correct. And who am I? Who am I to step on his vision?
Exactly.
Well, on that note, we'll take a Mantic ad, and we'll be right back with the Mantic Open Day. We'll talk about Mantic Open Day. So we'll be right back.
You have been listening to the Deadzone Podcast with your hosts Jack Fike and Rob Harper. The Deadzone Podcast is dedicated to Deadzone, the tabletop miniature game by Mantic Games. Visit them at manticgames.com.
Hi, this is Pat, North American Community Manager for Mantic Games, and you are listening to Deadzone the Podcast.
And welcome back to the Deadzone Podcast. And here we are, myself, Rob, and Coach. And what's next on this episode of the Deadzone Podcast?
We're going to be talking about the Mantic Open Day that just happened a couple weeks ago. It's a weekend and a half ago, I guess. And we had some roving reporters on the scene, and they gave us lots of great pictures. So we'll go through the pictures, we'll talk about what we see, and I'm sure Coach will have a lot to say about what we're seeing here. So yes, we value his input.
I know I don't talk that much, but I'll try to give my input as much as possible.
Yeah, we'll try to drag it out of you.
Okay.
So our roving reporters were Torin Spence. He is on Facebook. If you look up Torin Spence, we'll have his link on our show notes.
Torin is awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And our other roving reporter is our man on the scene for many a Mantic Open Day now is Fisty Glue Man, the glue bottle with the googly eyes and fists. And it's Jack's favorite character. And he was out there taking pictures as always, which is great. And we thank both of them. And all these pictures we're going to show are from those guys. So we'll go through them all. And you have anything to say about Fisty Glue Man today, Jack?
I still don't believe that a glue bottle with fists glued to its surface is capable of being a roving reporter of any type. I think that you're being catfished. And one day we're just going to hear that you were lured away to Des Moines, Iowa, and were murdered.
Listen, try not to, some people still believe in Santa Claus and Fisty Glue Man, so let's not throw a wet blanket over the magic of Mr. Glue Man and Old Saint Nick and the Easter Bunny and Hanukkah Harry and all that stuff.
Keep the magic alive. Let those who want to believe.
Don't be such a downer.
And Rob, you tell me all about Fisty Glue Man.
He is the greatest reporter out there. And he did let us know that there is news about a new Kickstarter happening soon. The next one's going to be Dreadball 2, which we're not going to cover because we're not a Dreadball podcast, but hopefully Adam gets to recording again and talks about that. But the next one after that, Ronnie said, would be a reboot of Project Pandora, which is in the Warpath universe. And it's kind of like it's like Dungeon Saga, but in the sci-fi universe. And Coach, did you ever play the original Project Pandora?
No, I didn't, but it sounds cool. So basically, we were all asking for a dungeon crawler for Deadzone, or Warpath universe, and they already had one, so now they're going to make it better. And from what I hear, it was pretty good. So let's do that. And then I think I will disagree with you. We are going to cover the Dreadball because we're probably going to kickstart that, and then we're going to use all those models to make all the Saphir and everything that we didn't do anyway. So
turn them into Deadzone characters.
Yeah, I already ordered a Saphir team to make a Rebs list with all Saphir Lancers and
that's cool
and the whatnot. Yeah, so I mean the models are cool anyway, and they got those really cool dynamic poses. You just got to bend them and stretch them and give them a few guns, and you're good to go. So I have a feeling we're going to be talking about it.
Oh yeah, well the hobby end for sure. And we've done that with a few Dreadball miniatures now that we've turned into, weaponize them. They are cool because it is the same universe, so it's great to get alternative sculpts. Yeah,
and if you buy, let's say, a Deadzone starter, but then you buy a team of Dreadball, it's almost like another line of the same aliens per se. Like I said, the Saphir, they're in really cool poses. But the two Saphir we have for Deadzone is one's the loader and the other one is the Merc, and they're pretty static pose. So I'm looking forward to making a whole team of those guys. A whole strike force of those guys.
And the Reb team for Dreadball has a lot of different races in there too. They got that like centaur kind of looking race, the four-legged guys, and that'd be kind of cool.
The Sorak, but then also you get 2 Rins. So we've been using those for now just to proxy them as, they're Rin Nomads as it is. They're just Dreadball guys with no uniform.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, that's cool. I didn't even realize that.
So that's like when we were play testing the stuff we were using for the Rebs. Andrew was running the Rebs. We used all the models from the Deadzone Dreadball team.
That's cool. I think we have a bag of them laying around here somewhere, so should break that out.
Yeah, really, because I never put 2 and 2 together, but we may have. Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
that's cool.
Keep that in mind.
Another piece of news that came out of the Mantic Open Day is that Ronnie wants to do Warpath and Kings of War in smaller scales. People have kind of been demanding that too. So like a 10mm or even 6mm version of those games. That'd be interesting. Almost like, what is it for? Is it Apocalypse? Is that what it is for GW?
Well,
the huge scale.
That's Apocalypse, but 40K used to have something called Epic, and Epic was the 10mm. So you would run, like one of the biggest tanks to have is a Land Raider. It's maybe like a foot by 6 inches. 6-inch front by a foot. But
Jesus.
if you're going to, it's the tank. But if you play Epic, you could run like 10 of them. So it's like, a little Matchbox car size. So you can do that. But then when you're playing, you're doing like 10,000 points, like an Apocalypse game, but you're running units. So it's a little scaled down, but I don't know, man. I don't know about that little stuff.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that scale, but a lot of people would like that. And it would allow you to do much larger games. So
yeah,
I know people are already playing Kings of War at that scale anyway. So
yeah, a lot of people are converting stuff, and
yeah.
Hey, you know what? If give the people what they want. It ain't my cup of tea, but all power to you, man. I'll watch the battle reports.
Yeah, it'd be neat to see for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we'll just look at some boards that they took pictures of, because that's one thing about Mantic Open Day. There's always amazing display boards, and like people are actually playing on them that people have created. And the first one here looks like a desert theme, and it's kind of would fit with your camo scheme there.
Yes, my Desert Enforcer will go right in there. You can't even. They're actually there. You just can't see them.
Makes sense.
I like the guy at the top picture, and the very middle. It almost looks like a hospital because you put the red crosses on it. That's like a cool idea.
Yeah, I don't know if I think they might be playing Warpath on those boards actually, but very cool.
Yeah, you can see there's multi-based units in there inside the buildings in some of the pictures, and which it kind of, since you don't have the squares and you can do like different things, like they've really made the board. They've got things oozing here. They got craters there, just debris fields. Since it's not as static, you could really get away with some of the other stuff that you can't do with Deadzone. But again, really just a top notch. Imagine playing on something like that.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I got to tell you, when we did, we were playing a lot of 40K. We used to love doing the terrain, and if you see those craters, those are actually GW craters. If you're gonna play, they're like one thing I could say about GW. You could say what you want about them. Their terrain and the stuff that they have, like the craters or the buildings, like the Gothic buildings and stuff, pound for pound, or like you get the most bang for your buck, because some terrain is really expensive, but like the stuff you get from them is actually, like when you're like, wow, the models cost how much? Wait, the scenery costs how much? So like those craters are awesome. You just throw them on the table and boom, you got a crater. And I got a bunch of them. I want to switch them up because now I have a fat mat. I want to kind of paint it too. Like it's almost like a Mars fat mat, and I want to get new craters and paint them up like that. But yeah, those are awesome, man. Those are just something cool to have. Like in the middle of a road, you got a big crater.
Yeah, those are really add to the realism of the board. Like it looks really cool. And yeah, there's that nice tower with it. You could see, like Jack was saying, with the multi-basing. It's obviously the same board. The next board I was looking at was that reddish colored one. It looks like it's all interiors with Hearst art molds. They're using it for Dungeon Saga. But once again, that'd be pretty fun to play some interior version of Deadzone on with those Hearst art molds. They're really cool.
Those look like, that could be like maybe the Asterian's palace or something like that, or a temple, something like that, or who knows, maybe that's a Teraton temple. You can go nuts with your imagination with that.
Yeah, it'd be really like we did. We have the what is it? Battle Systems, is that what it's called? Yeah, and it's the cardboard stuff, and we did some interior fights with that, and it turned out really fun because it becomes a lot more tactical and a lot more claustrophobic. You're trying to get across doorways without getting shot and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Oh, was that when you guys did it, and like there were certain doors you had to open the door and stuff? I remember you guys talked about a battle report on that.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
See, I pay attention. But that's pretty cool. Like, you were rolling to do to open doors and stuff like that. So just by getting a little bit of scenery and some stuff like that, you took the game to another level by putting in different scenarios, different mechanics to it and stuff like that. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah, because by then we've been playing Deadzone for quite a while, and then you start wanting to. What if we do this? What if you do that? Now that we have Deadzone 2, the Redux, we can now start getting back into like the stock. But for a while there, we started getting a little crazy.
Yeah, so hey, listen, spice of life,
Yeah.
And the next shot is a couple of plague swarms. This is a display board. I think they had this display board at Adepticon too, or was it Adepticon? Yeah, I think it was. But they said they didn't have the lights on it. You see all the purple lights and the blue lights. But you could see the Peacekeeper getting blasted off the roof with a couple of plague swarms there. Mm-hmm. The lights really add a neat element to it too.
Yeah, that's really cool. And the water effects and everything. And
yeah, the next picture you really see that gutter with the water effects in it and a pipe dripping water. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And all the new pipe system, you see it on the wall there, and that's really neat. The little pipes.
I like the big pipes, but I think those little pipes just add to, because in the fluff, I don't, if you guys read the fluff, it was like the ships go for so long and they are in orbit for so long that they land the ship and basically the colonists cannibalize the ship. So they build the ship with the battle zones terrain that gets the squares and stuff. So I like it because, they'll make this and like, oh, wait a minute, we got to run a pole. Oh, we need an acid. We need a sewer line here. And then you run a pole through there. So it's kind of impromptu put together, but it looks awesome.
Yeah. I really like the look of those ones.
Mm.
And then next picture, it shows off all the new bits with the, it's like a silvery gray kind of color with yellow stripes and stuff.
Yeah.
With the pipes coming off it. It really shows that new terrain. Which have you even started building anything with it, Coach? We haven't touched it yet. But
you know what? I got terrain. I want to get the models done, and then my thing is I think I'm procrastinating because I just don't know what I'm going to do with it. So do I like how do you build it? Because honestly, there's so much stuff I want to build. I'm going to just spend like another $400 on just terrain because the different things you can do with it. But the terrain is awesome. But if you start getting crazy, I know Tyler did a video with like he was showing a building. It must have been like 100 tiles.
Yeah.
The stuff burns up pretty quick, man.
Yeah, you can go through it quick. Like even I'm sure this building that we're looking at right here would probably be all of our terrain pieces that we got in the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Like it's
absolutely.
Just a square building. And then they have a more tower version of it with kind of cool. I really like the grid walkways. I think they look so cool.
Oh, those are awesome. Those are really awesome. And I like the fans are cool, but I like all the little doodads that they got. Like the tower, that one piece. It's like the thing is sunk in, but there's a bunch of pipes in it, almost like it's like an access panel that's not there. It really, I mean, listen, we all fell in love with the Deadzone terrain originally, but they really upped their game for this one. I mean, this stuff is really gorgeous.
And everything's got like textures to it. Like the one looks like sheet metal, and then
right.
Yeah. They really learned what they did before, and this stuff looks really cool.
And I was really glad because in the next picture, there's that little engine type deal, but I think it's part of the conveyor belt, and I got 2 of them. That was the only I got the ogre, and I got I think it was industrial sprue thing. It was like $5. I couldn't pass it up. But I got a conveyor belt with that engine, and there's a bunch of computers and little pipes and stuff. And I'm glad that I did that because you can go crazy with the conveyor belt, like make 2 sets of conveyor belts. So
it's pretty cool.
And actually, me and Andrew were talking about it, where we're going to do the conveyor belts, but if you're standing on the conveyor belt, it actually will move you.
Oh, that's neat.
So it's like a free movement. So, if you're on the conveyor belt, we haven't figured it out, like maybe 1 or 2, but like, you can move with it, or you could just stand there and it'll move you, and then you can make your like a sprint action. So it's kind of, like in a movie, like Jackie Chan will run up the thing, really fast because he's on a conveyor belt. So yeah, you can go crazy with it, man.
Yeah. Once again, using the terrain to create new rules. That's the fun part about the game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next picture is another angle for that original board we talked about, and it's just a cool tower, and you can see that hospital in the background. But I love that tower, the way they did the blast marks on it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really neat. I like the size of it too. You don't really see a nice square tower like that.
Mm.
And the last of the boards picture is once again that one, the lit up one, the display board, and you can really see they did like extruded foam, I think, it made smoke and fire coming off the tops and stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's the great stuff. It's called, right? It comes in a foam.
Yeah.
You spray it in the walls and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. They're really inventive. But once again, I like that board. Just the lights in the tunnel and that fire coming off the top looks really cool.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to they showed off a lot of painted miniatures. The first one is we have here is the Forge Fathers. Since we knew Coach would be on, we wanted to show off the Forge Fathers.
Yes.
And most of them it's just the regular Forge Fathers, but in the back there you see the nice tank painted up.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, they did their they kind of do it like a brownish gray, and then the orange for the miners. For some reason, they're in orange.
Yeah, they escaped convicts. It looks like almost.
I know that's a problem.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about the way they painted the Forge Fathers. It's too. I mean, if they're like miners and stuff, they should be all scuffed up and dirty. And I think these guys are just so very clean. I mean, the models are awesome. So you know what? I'll get it and I'll do it the way I like to do it.
And the same with the next picture is the Veermen. I find the Veermen, they have way too clean too. They did them in a yellow kind of scheme.
Right.
And it's very clean looking. That's like Jax always says, the Veermen, first of all, they shouldn't be wearing so much clothes, but yeah, they should be at least dirty and grimy and oily.
I think when I do it, I want the brood mother to be like pristine, like she's the queen bee. They, not a scratch on her, her armor is tended to and stuff like that. But everybody else is just a bunch of running through tunnels and getting scratched up and,
Yeah. And the next shot of the painted miniatures is right in the front is the aberration, obviously. But in the background is the interesting thing. It's the plague bursters. There's a bunch of bursters in the background there from the Warpath Kickstarter. So it's cool to see them in the flesh. They're very big.
Yeah, you can see the scale now. You can see what they look like because they're standing like right beside the speeder bike and the. You can look at the scale and go, oh, they're bigger than I would have thought. I would have thought, okay, about a stage 3, but maybe puffier, obviously, with their big bellies. But they're going to be big.
Mm-hmm. They're like about the size of the ogre.
Yeah, you can see the ogre Terminator right in the front there. Did you get an ogre? You said you got one, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
He's about 3 pounds, man.
Yeah, he's metal, right?
Yeah, it's all metal.
He's a cool looking model for sure.
Yeah, I'm really glad I got it. I'm really glad I got it.
No, we missed out on that one. We should have got it. Didn't notice it in the Kickstarter.
What was it? It wasn't in the pledge, so you had to just pay for it.
Yeah, it was in the pledge manager, but not on the page, so I never even noticed it.
Yeah, honestly, it was like 19 years ago. I mean, by now it's right now it's February because we got our Kickstarter in January, so it's as it's cold. My brain don't work done good, but. I remember getting him and then the other thing, but I'm glad I got him. But honestly, now I'm gonna have to buy. I hope they come out with a set of all the heroes like the Rin and all those guys because they're mercs and then they're also like the Rebs can just run them, Rin Nomad or the Shock Troop or whatever. So I like to get a few more of those and even like another aberration. I mean, I only got one. I wish I would have got another one.
Yeah. Yeah, we only got one aberration too. Those things are cool.
Yeah.
They'll have to start selling them separately because with the special lists now, with the special army lists, having the ability to run different things, it's going to make sense. If you'll be able to build an army with certain heroes, plus having mercenaries, plus they're going to have to start making some of them available in singles anyways.
Well, did you hear? I mean, a good friend of mine, and he's got a YouTube channel. I'm going to shout him out right now. It's the Wargaming Viking, but it's Spud Tate. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yep.
First of all, most awesome guy you want to meet. I 2 Adepticons ago, he came in from England. We bunked together, me, him, Andrew, and one other guy from Wargamers Consortium. We all split the room together. and he did I texted him and said, "You going to open day?" He goes, I'm definitely going. I says, "Do me a favor, can you videotape the Ronnie speech that he gives?" And he says, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So they set him up, and it was nice because they set it up. He got really good audio. One guy asked, "Are you going to sell?" I want to get a bunch of plague dogs, but I don't feel like buying 5 starter sets because I just want the dogs. And Ronnie says, "We got about 10,000 sprues lying around. We should just sell them."
Damn right.
So I'm like, all right, when? Because, this, it makes sense. Like, if I wanted just plague dogs, I mean, I got tons and tons of other stuff. But if I want to get 10 plague dogs, it'd be awesome if I can just get plague dogs.
Or any single miniature, like that'd be nice to get any of them. Because there's always something you're like, oh, I need one more of those, but I don't want to have to buy the whole booster to get it, right?
Right. Like, I'd love to get another stage 1 just for the hell of it, like in a different position, just to have, stuff like that. So, if they could do that, man, like kind of a la carte, man, I'll just order every week.
Yeah, I know that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because that's the only model that I proxy is plague dogs, because they make good troopers and they're cheap enough you can have multiples, and eventually now with the points being different, it just makes sense. You have to be able to buy what you want to run.
Right. I mean, Deadzone's not the little game that we were playing a year ago. It's everything is expanded to the point where, you should be able to do what you want. Okay, but now we need the stuff to do what we want.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not complaining at all. I mean, not even a little bit, but not having access to it is the only problem.
No, it's not a complaint, but yeah. Obviously Ronnie heard someone and heard a fan say something and went, "Oh, well, yeah, that's it makes perfect sense." So it's only a matter of time before they've got to have something.
Yeah, and I'll put it out there now. Any like miscasts on the terrain, I'll buy it. I'll buy it because you just use a pair of pliers, break it, move it, and you have ruined sprues, and make it with the fire and stuff around it, and just go to town with it. So if they're having Mantic, if you're having a not perfect sale, or what is that? Like when they sell cigars that have blemishes on them, you get them for half price. Let us know. The Deadzone Podcast will buy it all.
So like a dented, bent, broken, anything.
Yeah.
People were using those the Battlezone terrain for basing, like at Adepticon, everyone had their bases were all just busted up pieces of that terrain. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you sell like just a big chunk of like a baggie full of bits?
Yeah,
people would buy that in a second.
It would make sense, because if you're playing Deadzone on the battle zones and there's an explosion or cracked stuff, I would love to. I mean, I did it for my Iron Ancestor. I bought a bunch of stuff. All my Striders have some kind of terrain left over, the little square pieces, or I even like smashed one just for the hell of it, and use that because it makes sense. If that building blows up and we're going to step on the scraps of it, it's going to look like the stuff we have. I think that would be awesome if they could just I'll give me 3 baggies of that stuff.
Yeah. And the last picture we're going to look at is Blaine. I like this picture because look at the flame on the front of that Blaine. That's where he should be. He looks like a hot rod.
Like a rat rod, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. The only thing I don't like about the jet bike is it's a little small, but he's still cool.
Well, Blaine is not a genetically modified fighting machine like the Enforcers, so that's why I guess his jet bike is smaller, more maneuverable, but it's got all those the blades on it, like kind of like I can't think of the name, but the on the chariots they had the the blades, yeah, and that's what it looks like. So the only thing is they don't have a rule. I remember I was talking when I did the rules committee, and they said he's going to have some cool rules, but I guess when he flies over something, it's not in there yet. It would be cool if he had a rule where if you pass through a cube, friend or foe, you got to roll a survive test against whatever, you get
that'd be cool.
Yeah, but I guess not. But you know what? Listen, we're still in the infancy, so it should be cool. And I don't know, was your jet bike, the front blades messed up at all?
Yeah, one's slightly higher than the other.
You know what I did? I kind of just bent it, and then I base coated it, with a white base coat. And I came back the other day, and it kind of settled into where it needs to be. So
That's cool.
Yeah, it kind of like Blaine fixed it himself, So, but
I think that material you can heat up too, which I might try.
You know what? Just try bending it first, because it really went right back into it. Now it's like perfect. I couldn't believe it, because Andrew said, "Wasn't it messed up?" I was like, "Yeah." Oh, all right. The engineer
mine's just slightly off. I don't want to snap it off though.
Don't do that, because I don't think this one will be for sale.
No, maybe they should put that for the points. So
that's true.
So we can actually get something good with our points.
Yeah. How many points you got? I got about 100 points now.
I got about 40 probably. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll have a good ad. This one's actually a really good ad.
This is the only one that matters.
And we'll be right back.
FOG Andrew and the coach here, and we would like to tell you about our YouTube channel, Family of Gamers 777.
Family of Gamers covers the hobby from topics like airbrushing, painting, building, converting, unboxings, interviews, and much, much more.
We go over in-depth tactics and battle reports of games like Deadzone, Warhammer 40k, X-Wing, Kings of War, and Wild West Exodus.
So go over to Family of Gamers 777 on YouTube and become part of the family. What's up, y'all? Coach here, and I'm coming to you with a little service announcement. We've been running a Warpath history video series, and we are going to be covering lots of factions like the Plague, the Veermen, the Forge Fathers and Enforcers, just all of them. What I'd like to do is get pictures from the community. So if you have some great pictures of your models, if you want to just send them to me on Family Gamers 777 on Facebook, just send me a bunch of pictures, a private message, and I could put them into the videos. And also, we are having a Deadzone Monthly. Hopefully you guys are watching this. And we like to bring along 1 or 2 community members who would like to be a part of it. So I have 3 rules for that. Number 1, you have to play and love Deadzone. That's number 1. Number 2, you can't be a dick. And number 3, always remember rule number 1 and number 2. So you can get me on Twitter, which is FOG777Coach. Facebook is Family Gamers 777. And just send us a message. Send me all those pictures. I want some Plague, some Forge Father, all the goodness that you've been working on, and we're going to put it into the video. And this will be great. We'd love to see your work, and we'll put it on a video. So take care. Welcome back to Coaching Friends, and today I'm joined with Roberto and Jeek. What's up, guys? Deadzone Podcast, we're coming back to you. That was an awesome ad. I love that one. And I'm here with my 2 best buds, Jack and Rob, and we are talking about what happened at the Mantic Open Day, which they unfortunately have across the sea, and they don't have it here. Now, I wanted to ask you guys a question. I know we're going to keep our in-depth coverage of Mantic Open Day, even though we weren't there. Would you go to a Mantic Open Day in the States, wherever it is, who knows where it is, a Mantic Open Day that had the Mantic Open Day stuff and a tournament, as opposed to going to, say, Adepticon? Would you rather go to that, like, say, a 2 or 3 day type deal like that, or let's say a 2 day deal, just for the hell of it, as opposed to going to Adepticon? Now, I love the Adepticon, but I think I might skip it to go to a Mantic Open Day and playing a Deadzone tournament, maybe playing a Warpath or Kings of War tournament there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, me too. For sure. Because Adepticon was great, but yeah, the people we wanted to see, most of the people would be at the Mantic Open Day anyways, right? See Pat and all those guys, so and you guys.
Yeah, and then all of us would be hanging out, and you know, and then you know what probably happened too? Vendors would come that are not, let's say, not Mantic, so secret weapon miniatures or whatever, Reaper Bones would go there because they got the paint and the bones and stuff, and everybody proxies them for Kings of War. But I think something like that, I would love to do that, like just get your Mantic fix on,
And I think the perfect place for it would be Buffalo, because that's between New York City and Chicago.
Yeah,
It's
well, maybe
good spot.
maybe like a 5-minute walk from my house would be great. Like when you go to your job, but yeah, like a trip up to Buffalo wouldn't be bad. I mean, it's for me it's about a 3.5 hour drive. For you guys, it's what
5 minutes.
All right, so 5 minutes. There you go.
It's literally across the border for us.
Yeah, I mean something cool like that, like Mantic Open Day in the States would be awesome. But let's not screw around. Let's get some tournaments going. Let's get some.
Yeah, especially if it's 2 days for sure.
Yeah.
Tournaments.
Oh, forget it. It'd be great. And then you space it out because I like to. I definitely want to do the Deadzone tournament, but maybe something else, maybe Dreadball or
Plus
Kings of War
seminars would be cool. Like you have the rules committee come in and talk to them, or Jake or Ronnie, obviously.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
cool to talk to those kind of people.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so
Pat, if you're listening, get on that.
Get on it.
We have to sell in the idea.
Yeah.
And the official name would be Deadzone the Podcast and Family of Gamers 777 present Mantic North America Open Day.
Hell yeah.
No one would have a problem with that. I can't imagine anyone thinking that's a great idea.
As you say it, it's like your lips to God's ears. I mean, it's just.
It rolls off the tongue so well too. So
perfecto. We'll make shirts up.
And the next thing we're talking about is they had some shots of the sprues for the new Warpath stuff. And the first sprue we're looking at is the Asterians, the hard plastic marionettes, I think they're called now. And also it comes with another drone, different type of drone. And it's a hard plastic Asterians, which is something we've been waiting for, which is nice.
Now, what's that drone? Because
it's that new weapon drone, yeah.
That drone is sexy as hell, boy.
It looks like from the Dark Crystal, the crab-like creatures that they would send out to capture gelflings and podlings. All it needs is a bunch of little legs come chittering along. I like it. The marionettes are nice.
Yeah, I dare I say it. I like the marionettes better than the Asterians themselves. The ciphers.
The ciphers. Yeah, me too. I think they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice dynamic poses, because I found the ciphers almost all had the exact same pose, and you had to really work to change the poses. These ones built in different poses. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then if you look on the bottom right, it's almost like they have Green Goblin heads.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
That's you're right. Yeah, they're cool. So that's this. Yeah, and I do like that drone a lot. So
yeah,
and there's another shot, a close-up shot of the drone being held by someone, and you can see all the details. And it does have little legs at the bottom, Jack. You just have to extend them to make spider legs out of them.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Those things that would come out, they had the crab pinchers, and they would skitter around. Yeah, but without scale, like who knows whose hand that is. I'm hoping.
I think it's Torin Spence's hand, if I must say. But
oh well, and that still doesn't help because Torin Spence, I've never seen the size of his meat hooks. So I'm hoping that they're kind of smaller and squatter than the Asterians themselves. Like that they'll stand out. That they're. I don't think they'll be any bigger than say the ciphers, but I'm hoping there's something that makes them look different. Other than just aesthetic.
Yeah, different size of some sort. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
They all seem to have like the one eye in the middle. Like maybe it's because they're supposed to be just marionettes, just like automatons, right? They're not controlled by anything.
I think one person controls 5 marionettes.
Okay.
Instead of 1-on-1.
Okay, so now if you see like they right in the center, they have that optical eye thing, for the good old sci-fi thing there. So it's that's I think the differentiation between it and the ciphers themselves. But I really like these marionette models.
And I like their legs too. They're like got that like the legs goes 2 different ways.
Right.
Like I don't know how you'd even say what that's called, but it's cool looking legs. Yeah. So there's a few different shots of the cipher or the marionettes, I should say, from Torin, and I think they're cool. Can't wait. And the next thing they're showing off is the new hard plastic Stage 3 Plague, and you can see all the different options. I like all the different arm options, and they have a lot of variety on this sprue here.
You know what? You know what's cool? If you look, the only thing I don't like is the fact that they're calling the boomstick a grenade launcher. I kind of like the boomstick name, you know. But yeah, it's very cool the way it looks there. They really changed a lot for these stage 3s.
Yeah, for the better. The original stage 3s, I think, were the weakest of the sculpts from that starter box. They really looked out of place compared to the quality of like the stage 1s, the stage 2s. They looked they were fantastic. The stage 3s were, but I like these. The new Plague Dog is going to be fun to run. You'll be able to run different weapon options now that you're able to kit out your guys. So even if you have if you have a strike team of Plague right now, still having these now with the different weapons and the different look, I'd say pick them up.
They look like a lot more variety in poses once again, which is nice. I never made the first stage 3s, but Jack, do you find these ones a lot more dynamic at least?
They look similar enough that they don't, like, the legs are still like a little smaller than the rest of the body. Like they still have the same look. Like when they were originally designed, someone said this is how they mutate. The torso, the chest, the shoulders get big, the legs stay squat, and they've stuck with it. I just think that they're a better version. They look basically the same kind of walking poses and stuff, but I'm hoping that one guy's got a flamethrower. I want some Plague with it burns, but that's just me.
You know, if you look at the first picture to top right, it seems like there's different heads that you could put on the dogs. So you could really like position the dogs, like maybe his head is tilted to the side or he's rearing up or looking down or whatever. So now you really can customize the dogs. I mean, their legs and stuff don't move, but their heads move a little bit. And, you know, it'll be cool to customize that. Or even just take a few Plague Dogs and have one or two heads on the floor, you know, the aftermath on, say, an enforcer. Yeah, or like an enforcer stepping on the Plague Dog's head or something like that. You know, you can get
spiked on the end of his wrist blade.
Right.
Well, when we got one of our orders, one of the Plague Dogs we had, the leg, it was a miscast. The leg was not there. There was the base, the foot, a little string cheese looking thing up to the leg, and Rob told Mantic about it, and they replaced it, no problem. But I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I ended up basing him on underneath one of the Plague guys, the stage 3s who had his foot up. My general. So my general's actually standing on the remnants of a Plague Dog because I didn't want to go to waste.
Right. That's cool.
And they have close-ups that, once again, Torin's holding the different ones. Look at the detail on that, especially the first one there, the guy with his mouth open. The detail's so much more crisp. Yeah,
he's been hitting the gym. He's ripped.
But you could really see, I think it's much better sculpts, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like the head options. The third one down, he's got almost like a helmet kind of thing on. Pretty cool.
And the middle one, kind of like, almost looks like the Crypt Keeper. Like his nose is missing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, you know what though? If maybe these, you know, Jack, I think the guy at the bottom, that looks like a flamethrower.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that I got my fingers crossed on that one. That looks like some sort of burn weapon.
Yeah. Or maybe that could be you could proxy that as an experimental weapon.
For those who didn't get the Plague Enforcer.
Right. But you know, it's cool. It seems like maybe the stage 3s that we got, the original ones, were, you know, they were really, let's say, soldiers. They were like more like scientists or medical personnel and stuff. And these guys look like the corporation troopers that got plaguified, and you know, they're a little bit more military looking.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, I really like them. You know what? That's a definite purchase. If you're a Plague guy, it's time to get some more 3s or trees.
Trees. Yeah.
I heard you guys snickering.
I did. I'm guilty.
All right, it's all right. Don't worry about it. I know what it's all about.
Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah.
The next, we have some concepts that they always have like a video showing all different concepts of upcoming things. And the first concept is the Plague Mule. We haven't got to see the Plague Mule yet.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
Yeah, it is the coolest thing ever. It's got the guy hanging out the door and the other guy up in the hatch. And, yeah. And then below it's just the normal Plague, or the normal Mule to see the difference in the two constructions there. But yeah, we definitely got some of these coming our way, which is going to be fun. And
yeah, you made sure you went heavy on the vehicles and sight unseen on the Plague one. We knew it was going to be the Mule, but with addition. And you were still you want your vehicles, and that one's gonna be fun to run.
And the interesting thing is, we originally were like, oh, they'll just add bits to it to plaguify it. But this is definitely a different sculpt because everything's busted up, and it's actually a different. It's no longer like the same kit. It's just a different kit that they've taken the base model and just modified it in whatever program they use to make these renders.
Yeah,
and plagued it up.
Yeah,
and
no,
I do. Yeah, that with that hatch open, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And we also get another shot, some more Corporation. This is the Corporation Heavy Weapons team. So more Corporation troops is always interesting to look at. Once again, during the Kickstarter, they didn't have concepts for what these guys were going to look like.
Yeah.
And they kind of remind me of G.I. Joe guys. It's like you could picture getting the figures for these guys, G.I. Joe figures.
Well, and knowing was half the battle, so.
And I like that rocket launcher. It's very futuristic rocket launcher.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And hopefully they stand it up for Deadzone so we can do some serious damage to people as well as vehicles.
Yeah, those zombie hordes need a missile launcher in them.
Didn't Ronnie on the interview you did with him? Didn't he say that that's going to be a future Kickstarter or a future something?
Well, he said that the Corporation troopers are definitely going to be into Deadzone, and that might be a good kind of like Infestation, one of those things. So the models come out, and then the rules will be an Infestation, just in addition, or maybe going back, like he was saying, going back to Nexus Psi, maybe the Corporation, have to quelch the Plague. So, and it makes sense, maybe fluff-wise, because if you look, maybe the Plague got a few mules that were left there by the Corporation guys and, plaguified them and made them all gunked up like they are now. And, that could be cool on Nexus Psi or the next Deadzone planet that we go to.
Well, even in the fluff, like in the containment protocols, it's the first people who met the Plague were the corporations before the Enforcers even got there, right? So
right.
They definitely fought them. They didn't win, but they definitely fought them.
Yeah, the Enforcers get called out when it's a Deadzone. So the Plague and the recon units come before the Enforcers actually show up.
So, yeah, hopefully get those. And lastly, the concept we're talking about here is the do you remember the name of this thing? It's the Forge Father tank. I can't remember it.
This is the half track.
Yeah.
I think. So this is not the Forge Father tank that we saw above, in those pictures above. This is like, God, I forget what it was called, but it was like you get 3 of them and it was cheaper. But I don't know what's the outhouse behind it.
It's like a trailer. It's like just in case you have to bring out, your family with you when you're out.
Go caravanning in a Deadzone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's pretty. Yeah. It's pretty. Maybe it's a mobile command unit or something, or.
They'll explain it, yeah. But it's interesting that wasn't part of the Kickstarter. Does that mean we're getting that, or is it going to be an add-on, or what? So.
Well, I mean, I don't know. These are concepts, so are these just like, when you go to the auto show and you see the concepts, but they don't really come out with the stuff, or is it something they're thinking about? Is that on the screen, is that a 3D render, or is that a picture of a 3D model?
I believe it's a 3D render. I think it's just in some ZBrush or some program they use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's... Yeah. I honestly like this half track or 3-track. I forget what the name of it was, but I actually like this better than the other tank.
It's got a lot of character, that's for sure.
Yeah, I like it a lot better. I would rather have gotten that with the Forge Father pledge than the other tank.
Once again, we don't know the scale. We can't really tell how big this is. I assume it's going to be about the size of the mule, like the mid-size, not as big as the tank, but
right.
It is interesting.
Yeah,
we'll see. Once again, once what is it, December or November this year when Warpath's supposed to, is it supposed to come out?
Well, it's supposed to come out in December, but is it going to be 90 degrees in December again, kind of like when the Deadzone Kickstarter came out? Or
Yeah, it's going to be January again.
December, January, it's nice for us to get the stuff because you're inside, you're not doing anything, you got time to hobby. When you get it, say, when we got ours, May, June, like, it'd be nice if you shut in, snowed in, and you're just like, okay, well, I guess I got to paint a Strider or two.
And I got you, because I was like, if it comes in January, February, there's a lot of days off, and there's a lot of regions testing going on and stuff. So there's a lot of, half days or, non-coaching days. And I was like, oh, man, I'm going to have everything done before February. I know exactly what you said. And then, the summer comes, like, should I paint my Enforcers or go have a beer and a cigar outside?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with the latter.
The grass needs cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Warpath, hopefully it'll come out on time. We'll see. Well, I'll be pleasantly surprised if it does.
Now, I remember listening to you guys. You were like not going to play Warpath. Are you going to give it a try, or?
I'm sure we'll probably try it, but it just doesn't seem our kind of thing. But for me personally, I don't know what Jack feels. He hasn't never watched the video that I asked him to watch. So
yeah, no, I still have yet to do that. That's on me. I accept that.
I'm waiting for the rules to come out because I keep reading the rules and there are a few holes in it, and I think they need to come out with the real, like not a beta, not a gamma, not a zeta, like the book. Like remember Deadzone, we got the PDF of the book. I'm reading it. I'm familiar with it. I kind of get the grasp of it, but there are a lot of holes in it, and I don't know what to ask. So I think I'm going to wait till the official comes out and then really get to town on it, because if it's going to be similar to 40K, it'll be a nice transition for us, which, Firefight is basically to get the 40K guys.
Yeah, yes, they won.
But I think I don't think they're going to get 40K guys, but it's like it might be people who are, I used to play 40K. I'm really into the Warpath universe. Let me give this a go because it's similar.
My thing is that we've just now got the Redux for Deadzone, and we're just now getting into that. Mantic's coming fast and furious with all their product lines, and right now we're still working on our fave, and hopefully in time, why not? We have the models, and eventually if we get a hankering. But I have no interest in the near future to play, even just to test out the beta rules they have. We got Deadzone to play, and we still have. I don't know. We've probably only played a handful of games with the finalized rules. Yeah, so we got enough on our plate right now.
Yeah. I'm looking at it because we're like over 100 Deadzone games already, version 2. But if everything's painted up. It's almost like, all right, I'm going to paint all my stuff for Deadzone. Oh, you know what? Everything's painted up. Let's try Warpath because we have the stuff there, but not like I got to get this painted because I want to try Warpath. Because honestly, I'll use all my 40K stuff, if I really desperately need it. But I agree. Like once all the Deadzone stuff is painted, then maybe give it a shot.
Yeah, and get to the point where, okay, we've played the Redux now. We've got it down. We're enjoying it. We got an afternoon. Let's try. Like we've played Kings of War, just because Rob was like, okay, we gotta do this, and we did, and we'll probably do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once again, if I was going to play a mass battle game, I think I'd rather play Kings of War because it's different. Like if I want to play sci-fi, I'd rather play Deadzone, right? So I think that's where it's like. Yeah, if I was going to play mass battle, I'd rather play something a little different than what I'm already playing, just on a larger scale,
Well, honestly, in the last 2 years, I can honestly say I haven't gotten tired of Deadzone. It's like, if anybody like, hey, you want to get together this weekend? Deadzone? It's like that. And, it's funny, too, because, like, even when we get together, we'll play something. So, it was either X-Wing or Deadzone. And we kind of start off with some board games. and it transitions into that. It's like, all right, let's stop screwing around. Let's start building. All right, put the terrain out, get the mat, let's go. And I'm not bored at it at all. I don't mind playing the other stuff either. I dig in X-Wing. We're still doing Kings of War and stuff, but I haven't gotten to that where I don't want to play Deadzone.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to remember, I've had the beta since last October, so we've been playing it ever since, and I'm not tired of it at all.
Yep, every game's different, especially like Ronnie says with the command dice. That changes everything. Because one time you could be rolling all movements, and you have to adjust your strategy to be more of a movie army. But other times you're just like get those shoot actions or whatever, and it changes everything. So. And
then your commander dies, and you can't re-roll them, and then you lose half your guys. So now it's you're losing dice. So yeah, it's really every game is so different.
Yeah. Plus, there's how many different factions. So.
Yeah. So I'm not going to rule out ever playing it. In fact, it's probably likely that one day Rob will just be like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. We got to do it." But for now, I'm just looking for getting more. I gotta get my Deadzone on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on that, we'll take one more break, and we'll be right back to finish up. We'll talk about some other stuff, and we'll finish up this podcast.
It is time for a brief message from our friends at Iron Watch Magazine.
Do you like Mantic games? Do you want to read about your favorite games in a monthly magazine? Have we got the offer for you? Iron Watch Magazine. Iron Watch brings you the latest news, articles, and short stories taking place in the Mantic universe. Dreadball, Kings of War, Deadzone, Warpath. You want it? They got it. Ironwatch.wordpress.com. Get it now for the low price of free. You can't beat that at twice the price. That's ironwatch.wordpress.com. Download now.
Hey, this is Jack from the Deadzone Podcast, and you've been listening to the Deadzone Podcast.
With Jack from the Deadzone Podcast.
So much Deadzone Podcast, it'll make you vomit.
And welcome back for the 55th episode of Deadzone the Podcast. And we got some shoutouts. I think we have one shoutout, and that's to our loyal listener, Douglas Thoin. And he sent us some plague dogs. Plague dogs in alternate sculpts of these things. I have no idea what this miniature is. It's not a normal plague dog, right, Jack?
No, and I don't even recognize it. Like the base, obviously.
It looks almost like a Ralpartha something.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's from some line that maybe even like I don't know.
Maybe
but it's cool looking though.
Malifaux or something. It's more of like a lion. It was pretty cool, man. I like those spikes and talk about picking like. I'm not going to say it's not bad. It's like weird colors, but they work.
Yeah, like the green and the purple.
Yeah. And the tan.
It looks diseased, looks sick. Yeah. It looks part of the...
I do really like that face, too. I like the look of him. And the musculature. It's a nice model, actually.
Yeah.
But I love, like Jack said, you have to... You never have enough plague dogs, so you always have to find different sculpts to add to your army. So it's cool to see someone else doing that also.
Yeah, and eventually, like I said, they keep tinkering with the points costs, and eventually you'll have a list that you could add 6 or 7 of things that was never thought of when they were making the first, the base, the stock models that you got just won't cut it anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Jack's just waiting for the time where. It's going to be plague. Dog spam is going to be the meta. You're running 20 dogs.
He already does that.
I've run quite a because they're troops.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're beasts. So as soon as you start adding pick up intel, bring it back, or then start screwing with you. But I love just slapping a whole bunch down the board and looking at Rob's face as he's resigned to the fact that this is happening again.
Because they're all worth 0 VP. No, they're not. They're not plague zombies. At least they're worth 1, right?
Yeah, they're one.
Yeah,
one
at least
big...
Yeah, I don't mind plague dogs. Plague dogs are fine because I've fought plague dogs lots of times and beaten them. They're just en masse. It's the plague zombies I have an issue with. Plague zombies.
You know what? And that's the issue with the plague in and of itself is like, do you take dogs or you swarm them with the horde of zombies, and you don't give them nothing. And but my thing is now that the plague zombies are troops and the hellhound is a beast. In my opinion, all right, if you're going to take the zombies and there's 0 VPs, well, they shouldn't be able to pick up or contest objectives or whatever. They're just like mindless automatons that, like zombies. They shouldn't be granted all that goodness that a troop can have, but like none of the negatives.
Yeah.
I think they should be beast, like beast category, because they can't pick up things. It's like, all right, we need to get the intel. Send out 30 zombies. It's not going to work.
Yeah. I think that might be
the difference between the zombie and the Type 3. I think that is the key component. Like the Type 3s look like zombies. They look like. I think one of the deciding factors of why one is called a zombie and one is a kind of a functioning troop should be the ability to go, okay, I reason that I'm not just attacking people. I need to pick up this intel. I need to do this. I need to do that. But
still intelligent, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the threes are basically regular people that been mutated into thinking something else. So it's like, they can open a door, they can fly a spaceship, they retain all that stuff. But now it's almost like the what was remember Firefly, the Firefly
Reapers,
the Reapers. So they're just people. They're flying ships and they're shooting stuff and using technology, but they're mentally warped because of the plague.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I see them. Totally.
Right, and zombies are just like we just forget it, man. We're just walking around killing things.
Yeah, and we get pushed in a general direction by our leader, and then hey, kill.
And they're thinking about changing the FAQ for it, and I think that'll be something that they might add is give zombies beast.
I think it is. I think it's one of those things like like the stage 1 is there, and he sent out a bunch of zombies, and one of the 3Zs comes over. The stage 3s comes over, and is like, Plague Father, look what they're doing, dude. Once I send them out, I don't know what they're on their own. I can't control them. Just,
they're going to kill.
Yeah, they're just but they were supposed to get the objective over here in the middle. They're on the other side of the board. Like I said, man, I just why don't you go get it, because I keep they're like rowdy children.
Yeah, for sure. And the other shout out I have too is once again to Torin Spence for talking me off the cliff after the last show, as Coach likes to call it, the angry show. And it's a shout out to Torin because he's a good dude. He was like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we were just joking."
So you lied to Torin?
I was just joking, Jack. Maybe you had heartfelt feelings.
You were not okay after that.
I was fine after it. I got it all out.
Oh, well, is that what it was? You vented, and then I was like, okay, shook it off.
But
I'm just glad that I wasn't in trouble.
No, you were not in trouble at all. In fact, I think you got plenty of you were given your props for trying to correct. You were herding cats there, and you tried your best.
I felt like Rocky trying to chase the chicken, But if anything, leading up to that show, I showed where my loyalty lies and whose camp I'm in.
That's true.
Most certainly.
You made the wrong choice.
Yeah, that's going to haunt you for many years to come, but you made it.
Well, we'd like to thank you, everybody, for turning into Coaching Friends. And
yeah, start stoking that fire again.
So anyway, we did a battle report where we tested actually one of Pat's missions. He's doing missions for his local... I think he's going to demote to all the Pathfinders to do demo missions for a campaign that he's doing. And we did one of the missions. Remember that, Jack, when we actually did this? It was a while ago now, but Jack had he took the Asterians of all people, and I had the Enforcers. And what we learned from this battle report is that Plasma Vortex can tear things apart.
Yeah, Rob's not accustomed to. I usually play Plague, so you're not really having to watch out for projectiles. And I think he had 6 models, and 4 of them were all piled up in 2 groups of 2. And the Plasma Vortex has a frag attack, and it was nice. I like mixing it up. I enjoyed playing the Asterians.
What did you take, Jack?
I took the 2 drones with the Vortex cannons, and then I took as many of the cheap-ass base model...
the marionettes.
No, not marionettes, the ciphers.
Ciphers,
okay.
just so my troop count would be up there. And then I took the...
Cipher Prime? Was it?
Yeah, the one with the staff. That's right. It wasn't the Black Talon. It was the Cipher Prime.
And Cipher Prime and one of my Peacekeepers had a hand-to-hand combat for a while, which was kind of fun.
Yeah,
I think they both ended up dying.
You gotta shoot him because he's a beast in combat. He when you look at his stats on paper, you're like, all right, I'll just wreck him. But once you get him in combat, man, it's almost impossible to kill him because he's that good in combat.
Well, I think I finally did because I kept knocking him back, and then my other guys would shoot him when he got knocked back out of the square. we eventually beat him down, but I think that Peacekeeper got killed in the process also.
Yeah,
it was a good fight. I was actually, other than the Plasma Vortex, once again, if I had known they were that powerful, I wouldn't have done what I did.
And the objective was there was 2 objectives. One they were kind of in the middle, but the opposite. I don't know how else to describe it. They were both in the middle.
Kitty corner from each other.
Yeah, and the object was to get to those, pick it up, and get back off your side.
Yeah, it's like a data packet you had to grab and get out.
And fortunately, I was able to, I had a clear line of sight to his. So all I was going to do was deny him the ability to get his. And then I started using toxic smoke screens, and I was just basically being a dickhole, just playing with some new toys.
And I put
I think I won. I think I'm undefeated since the beta rules rolled out many months ago.
I've never won a version 2 game yet, but I did put a Peacekeeper on a mono wheel, that was my crowning achievement.
That is true. That is true. You did do that.
It worked out well until he got Plasma Vortexed.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was Jack once again was rolling crazy. That's the version 2 thing so far, is Jack's rolled like a maniac every single game. I think I gotta switch dice with him. He's using the plain white dice, and I have my special dice. I have to switch them out.
Yeah, and you've got your Cthulhu ones where it's like, I've rolled 3 Shog Gogoths, so that's a pretty good roll. And I go, I guess so.
Meanwhile, Jack's just using the plain white ones and rolls 8s, like millions of 8s. And
hey, if I had the dice that had the polyp on it like you do, I would use them.
It was a good fight, though. I remember that game being real fun. So.
And then the second game we were going to roll out, but we didn't get to finish because of Civil War. We had to go watch movies.
Yeah, so we never got to do that. We'll play that one another time and talk about that. It's another mission from Pat, which was fun. And and I'm sure Coach has been doing enough battle reports on his channel to talk about on his own channel. So,
well, we have 2 coming out. We have one where it's we did the mission from Infestation, because we're just doing one-offs, but we're going to do actually, Rob, we were talking about this, about doing the sacking of Priory Station. So we're gonna do Enforcers, Pathfinders versus Veermen, and then we're gonna pick 2 models, because in the book it tells you, like, if you're, let's for argument's sake say you don't want to play the Veermen, you could use the Plague instead and use the missions that way. And if you don't want to do Pathfinders, you could do, say, Forge Fathers. So we're gonna do like the 2 missions and really go to town with it. But one we did, and I took Forge Fathers, and it was both taking elite lists, and Fist of the Angry God is just I like it better than It Burns, and you know how I feel about It Burns.
Oh yeah,
and that's your new thing.
Yeah, and then we did plague on plague action. I'm editing it now, and I'm trying this. So anybody who's listening, and if you're a subscriber, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000. We're very close. So we don't make any money off this, but we just like the Dead Zone talk. So the more people we can talk to about it, it's great. So if shameless plug here, but please go and subscribe.
Yeah, Family of Gamer 777 on YouTube. Go there.
Yeah, and I mean the videos are all right. They're pretty good. I think they're all right. So
they're right.
I mean they're okay. So I'm trying, but
you don't have to watch them if you subscribe. Just subscribe.
Well, the views are good too.
That's why we don't have any subscribers on YouTube, because that's how Rob sells it.
Just subscribe and move along.
If you feel like.
So how we're doing the battle reports from, like, say, the player's perspective? We did one battle report where it's just an overhead view, and we played through it and talked. And so I'm going to put them both out. I'm going to try to get them out by this weekend. I don't know when we're going to release this podcast, but we're going to try to I want to put them out together. And if you watch them, please give us feedback. Do you like the overhead, or is it hard to follow? And do you like the other one, like kind of the mini wargaming way, which I find it's harder to do editing wise and filming wise, but I feel it's a better way. I know that's the way Tyler and Tim are doing it over at Dreadpad Zone. So I want feedback on it, because if you like the overhead better, we'll do more of those. But if you like the regular one, let us know. But just don't be a dick. Just constructive criticism is awesome.
And if you like the way that Mantic did their battle reports, well, theirs it just showed the guys talking. It never showed the board. It wasn't the best.
I tried. Remember we were calling each other and we were messaging each other. All right, I got 5 minutes into it. All right, I'm gonna try to get through the whole thing. I bailed at 7. It just.
It's just the way they filmed it. Like they're like enthusitic and they seem like they're having fun. It's just the filming is just they're not doing it correctly. They should watch your videos.
I did. We were doing some 40K videos, and it's a big thing, and we were doing it. If you look at some of our earlier videos, and a buddy of mine, Matt, was here, and he's actually a very competitive X-Wing player, and we were playing 40K and stuff, and we did it, and this and that and this and that, and he's like, all right, well, when's this going to come out? I said, well, I got to edit it. I got to put music in it. I got to put the graphics. There's a lot to it. So, it might take me some time. And he goes, when I watch the battle reports, I never knew what entailed doing a battle report. So now you and Mini Wargaming and everybody else has my undue respect, because it's so hard to, it's not easy. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but
just a lot of work, for sure.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It really is a labor of love. I mean, I love doing it. We got to meet each other. We're meeting all these other guys. Got in touch with Pat and Ronnie, and we're building our community about something that we're passionate about. So and I know you guys feel the same way, because I was like, oh, it's those podcast guys, and we started. We're all pretty close, and. It's all because of Dead Zone, the channel, the podcast, and everything. So there's only positive that comes out of it. So, like I said, check it out and let us know, because we do. I've never not answered anybody's feedback. Although one guy did on the interview with Ronnie was complaining about, I didn't get my Kickstarter. What are you talking about? This and that and this and that. It's not a place to bitch, man. Get in touch with Ronnie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They'll find any excuse.
Although. I can sympathize that if I didn't get my Kickstarter at this point, I'd be a little ticked off.
Yeah, but you just go through the correct channels.
Yeah, but you know what? I think a lot of people screwed up. I mean, I could be wrong, and like I said, I've been kicked in the head quite a bit. But I know that a lot of people filled out the pledge manager wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you filled it out wrong, then it's,
you're at the bottom of the list.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
Yeah, it just, just the way it is. And out of all of us, I was the one with the highest number, and I got my stuff before everybody.
Yeah, it was just random, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, me and Fabian got it the same day, but he was like almost like 200 numbers below me.
Yeah.
And we got it the same day, so.
And I got mine before you, and mine was much higher.
Right.
Yeah, Yep, I think it's just random. It's how they work through it.
Well, I hope whoever that was, that they've now got their Kickstarter. They're happy, and there's no more reason to cry.
Right, and just stay subscribed and keep watching.
Also, go to cafepress.ca/Deadzone the Podcast and buy a shirt, and that'll make you feel happier about not having a Kickstarter yet.
Okay, that was out of nowhere, and
that was a shameless plug. That's what that's called.
You whore!
Oh my God.
Another good place to go is falleninfantry.wordpress.com. That would make you feel a lot better because you could see my unboxing of the Kickstarter, and you'll see everything you don't have yet.
Live vicariously through you.
That's right. So I think that wraps up this show. Hey, you guys have anything else to say?
I got tons to say, but I'm going to stop it.
Well, I'm sure we'll have another chance to talk more.
Yes, and I would just say thanks to everyone who listens, and please, this is the reason we do this, is because we like the feedback. Thank you, one and all.
Yep, and until next time, this has been Deadzone the Podcast. I have been Rob.
And I'm Jack.
And I'm still the coach.
And we'll be back on 56 to talk about some other things. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Deadzone Podcast. I have been your announcer, William Randolph Wintergreen. Visit the website, deadzonegame.podbean.com. Email your hosts at deadzonepodcast@gmail.com. On Twitter, you can follow the show at Deadzone Podcast. The Deadzone Podcast is a production of Vinland Old Time Radio Productions.
I'm still a little pissed off. You know, I've been on the show, what is it, like maybe 8 times now? And I still haven't met Wintergreen.
And you know what? This is supposed to be the happy episode. Like last episode, there was a lot of like anger and.
Oh, that was. I'm telling you, I've listened to that one 3 times. I love it. It is my favorite. It is the granddaddy of podcasts, the angry podcast. Jack and Rob. Nah, son, that's mere work.
You have been listening to the Deadzone Podcast. And now, a word from the fine folks at Vinland Old Time Radio.
So, you're listening to the Deadzone Podcast, and if you find us funny and you enjoy our sense of humor and you think that you'd like a little more entertainment, please visit us at Vinland Old Time Radio. Found where, Rob?
VinlandOldTimeRadio.podbean.com. It's where the funny lives.